My name is Donna Howes, and I'm a certified executive coach and human resources practitioner. And I work with organizations to help create those proud, productive workplaces that we all want. I'm bringing forward today an experience that I've had with working with a supply chain organization, and in particular creating a cross-functional team way of doing business. Cross-functional teams, we know, are very often associated with project work. So they come together, they complete the project, and then they disband. In this organization, the decision was made that the new way of doing business was going to be through the decisions made by cross-functional teams. So today what I want to give you some insights to are the advantages of cross-functional teams and success factors, and the importance of synergy within creating these new teams, and also the collaborative decision making that underpins all of the work that this particular organization was doing. So what are some of the advantages? Well, the very first thing that best practice teaches us is that cross-functional teams, when they are in the zone, they make very effective, efficient decisions. All parts of the problem are considered because everyone that's involved is at the table. So you can make quick, good, effective decisions. Second thing is that cross-functional teams, by the very nature of bringing together experts from across the organization, they can deal with very complex issues. So that's another real key advantage in today's environment. Another advantage is that the group of people that are there each have the same focus. They're focused on the customer. So you can solve the customer's needs from each of the functional areas' perspectives. And the other real advantage of cross-functional teams within organizations is that it speeds up organizational learning. Here you have a group of people who are at the table and they're sharing information across the organizations. When you work in silos, very obviously, you're not sharing information. So the second point is what are some of the success factors? There were 10 key success factors, and I'll just mention a few of them. First and foremost, creating a cross-functional team depended on having a very clear idea of the vision for that team and having the support of the senior leaders within the organization. So it would match with the business plan and it would match with the values. Those were key points. Team empowerment, that was a really big thing. If you're going to bring together all of these experts and put them in a room and say, you have to make some great decisions on behalf of our customer, then you have to empower that team. They have to feel as if they have the autonomy to make the decisions that are most critical for the outcomes the business wants. Another element is team representation. It's not only the people that are at the table in that cross-functional team, it's who they represent back in their functional areas. So you might be at the table representing your function, but you've got a whole team of people behind you. So the notion of team representation is really important to embed into the way of working of a new cross-functional team. And those pretty much are the key success factors, which is very closely followed by the synergy that is needed to have that group of people work well together. So what we learned from the experience of setting up these cross-functional teams in the supply chain organization was that there were a number of really key factors that contributed to great synergy within the team. The very first thing was that we defined what synergy means. Essentially people collaborating to generate results that would have not been possible had everyone worked separately. So it was all focused on results, and so the synergy was there because people wanted to work together. They wanted to bounce ideas off each other, so that was a key success factor of creating the synergy. And another element of it was having the trust within the group. Not something that happens the first meeting or maybe even the second meeting, but it was certainly something that had to be worked on and developed, creating the trust. And the good purpose for having the trust as part of the way of working together on the new cross-functional team was so that different points of view that came from all of these different functional areas, that it was safe and in fact important for people to be able to bring their different points of view and even to come into conflict with each other. And so and then the other point about synergy is that if I'm sitting at the table and I'm not really engaged, then I'm not a member of this cross-functional team in an effective way. So everyone at the table has to have the same level of accountability, and that really created great synergy. The whole good purpose for creating cross-functional team way of working within this supply chain organization was for the decision making to shift from just the senior leaders to this group of people who had the functional expertise to make great decisions. And so the skill set there was in how to make collaborative or consensus-based decisions, not hierarchical decisions, but consensus-based decisions. And that, again, another set of skills. And what we learned was that people needed to have a way of positioning, well, actually not positioning, but showing up in this cross-functional environment and saying, my point of view is as valid as the next person's and the next person. So collaborative decision-making, consensus-based decision-making requires inclusivity. It also has a component of agreement seeking. So I'm not here just to represent my point of view exclusively from someone else's. I'm here to find out, be curious about what other points of view are there. And what's interesting, you probably noticed I'm using my hands a lot and kind of creating this circle, because that is in fact the natural orientation for a cross-functional team. People all sitting around the table working together. Another really key element of the collaborative decision-making is that people have to stay with the process. Collaborative decision-making takes a lot longer sometimes as you go around the room and tap into everybody's wisdom. However, what we found in this supply chain environment was that once people had gotten used to the notion that not one point of view had a priority over others, that every point of view was just as important, that they really trusted the process, and the outcomes have already started changing for this group of people. And so I've been talking quite a bit about collaborative decision-making and consensus-based decision-making. That is at the heart of effective cross-functional teams. The journey to become an effective cross-functional team within an organization, the supply chain that I was giving you the example of, really started with the vision. That was giving the power from to these cross-functional teams, from the senior leadership, so empowering the team, and then giving them voice and autonomy at the table. And the success factors, the key ones, really were having that vision and embedding the people skills for the individuals to have the kinds of conversations that they needed to be able to represent their different views to get to the better result, the good outcome on behalf of clients. And so while they changed their way of working, actually I'll start it again. They changed what they were working on as individuals. They were no longer working in silos. They were working as a group of people on toward a common goal. So they changed what they were working on, but more importantly, they changed how they worked together. They changed who they were as people at the table. And that was the biggest transformation that you could ever imagine. In fact, I'll read you just one comment from some of the feedback, and it is, one person said, "I have a huge sense of accomplishment. It's been a long time that we've been trying to fix these things, and today, for the first time, we came together as a team." The journey toward creating cross-functional teams is a really worthwhile one, and I wanted to share with you some of the roadmap. So thank you very much for spending the time, and I look forward to spending time with you again in the future.